Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Coin Show. I'm your host, Jeff. I'm continuing my coin roll hunt through the state quarters that I've pulled out of circulation and out of bank rolls, and using my new handy-dandy USB microscope to evaluate them. A quick recap on this portion of the video. If you watched my last coin roll hunt for state quarters, same thing applies here. If you haven't, I'll give you a quick recap. I had a technical error on this search, so my commentary track was lost, but I still had the video. So to salvage the video, I'm now replaying it on my desktop and recording me here on the camera to provide a new audio commentary track for the footage I recorded a little while back to sort of save it, because I'm a TV producer and no one likes wasted footage. So what I'm going to do is replay this last hunt and review the footage I've already shot and comment as we go. There we go. So we're starting with the Colorado state quarter. And that was the 38th coin in the series. It was released June 14th of 2006. There are 569 million of them, and there are errors. There are cud errors. Now, a cud is a portion of the die that is broken off and does not strike its intended image upon the coin. Now, what's interesting about the Colorado errors is the cuds sort of resemble boulders, and they occur in the mountain line up through here, over in here, and they resemble boulders. So kind of a interesting presentation of an error that blends right in with the intended design of the quarter. And there's one here, one here, one here, and there's a few more that appear down through here in these lines. And they just resemble a boulder that's supposed to be on the mountain, so I'm sure a lot of people let these error quarters slip right through their fingers because they thought it was a part of the intended design, when in fact it wasn't. So I'm reviewing, like I always do, this previously shot footage, looking for anything I missed the first time around. But this time I'm just adding a commentary track because I messed up and lost the first commentary track. So you're going to actually follow me reviewing footage like I do for every other coin roll hunt, but this time I get to talk over it. Now I'm seeing something here. I decided it wasn't fruitful, so on to the next coin we go. And like I've been trying to this is a bit of, I think that was glue. I noticed some discoloration there. But what I've been trying to do is honor the designers of these coins, because this was the most massive coin redesign in U.S. coinage history. Just think about it. We had 50 new designs, 5 every year for 10 years. And previously to this series, the Washington quarter remained remarkably stagnant from its first year of introduction in 1932. Nothing about it changed all the way up until 1976. Then we got that 1 year bicentennial reverse. The obverse stayed exactly the same. So from 1932 through 75, nothing changed. 75 and 76 were actually the bicentennial years. You will never find a U.S. quarter dated 1975. They don't exist. The Mint knew that they were all going to be hoarded because of the bicentennial, so it started striking them in 75 all the way through 76. So all 1975 and 1976 issued quarters have the double date 1776 to 1976. And right here, as I'm yakking away, here are some of those pre-mentioned cuds. There we go. There's my handy-dandy cursor explaining it to you visually. And as you can see, they look like little rocks, like little boulders that are supposed to be there anyway. But they're not. They're actually cuds. I think here I'm going back to show you the design of a quarter where there are no die chips. in there. I use the term cud kind of loosely. A cud actually only occurs on the rim. These are technically die chips. But there we have it. We've already found one with the die chips. Now it doesn't match exactly the example I found online up here. But like I said earlier, they can occur anywhere in these lines, and I've seen them all over the place. The ones that are notorious on the internet anyway are the ones that are up here on the peaks because they're easier to see. But there are some down through here, like I just demonstrated on that coin right there. But getting back to the Washington quarter, 1975, 1976 were all the double dated for the bicentennial. And then we went back to the traditional design in 77 all the way through 1998. So from 32 to 98, 66 years, if my old man math in my head is correct. For 66 years, nothing changed with the quarters. There was just that one bicentennial design in that 66 years. The front was always George Washington. The back was always the heraldic eagle. Then in 1999, these state quarters came along and really fired up the coin collecting hobby. 5 new designs every year, one for every state. The program lasted 10 years. It was an amazing boom to our hobby. So the state quarter program was exceedingly successful. They decided to extend it with the territory quarters, and then extended it again with the America the Beautiful quarters, honoring national parks and historical monuments. So this phenomenon of commemorative style reverses for the quarter is still going on right to this very moment in 2017 when I'm recording this. So there are just a ton of reverse designs out there. And like I said a long time ago, or when I started this rant, I was trying to honor the designers of the reverse. So this Colorado reverse was designed by Norman E. Nemeth. I hope I said your name right, Norman. So kudos on a brilliant design. And especially kudos for making a design that ended up having some errors that are fun to hunt for. So let's get back to this. Other than that one quarter we've seen so far, I haven't seen anything of note for these. And here I'm looking at the ridge line of these mountains, looking for more of those die chips. I don't see any there. I'm also surprised that there haven't been more die chips appearing in the trees. There's a lot of detail through this tree line here that is just ripe for die chips to appear in. Okay, I found another one. Apparently I'd misplaced part of the stack. As I was saying, I'm really surprised there aren't more die chips appearing in this tree line here. And this tree right here is very reminiscent of the Minnesota era quarters, the double die, extra trees popping up in the tree line. And here we go back to another quarter. As you can see right here, I'm pointing out a few more areas of interest. This appears to be maybe the beginning of a die break. There's a really odd shape there. And then more of these die chips. Okay, moving on. This is the 2005 Kansas quarter. There are quite a few notable errors with this coin. As you can see in the example up here, I'm looking for a line through here, which I appear to have found at least the beginning of one, a die crack. But that might be a die crack. I think it was probably the very start of the die crack that is noted here. Okay, and I found a few other errors to look for. Like right now I'm looking for the die clash, which I'm not seeing any indication of a die clash here. As you can see right here in the flower, there's an extra little design thrown in. The very front of the coin. Now, on Kansas, there are the reverse errors, and there's also the obverse error, the notorious "In God We Rust" error. That was caused by a segment of grease getting in and filling in the tea and turning trust into rust. That one was on the news and was very popular on the news segments for a while. And I'm sure everybody was out there looking for the "In God We Rust" quarter. I don't have that here, obviously. You just saw the motto. But I'm looking around the rest of the coin for any possible errors on the obverse. Not really seeing anything. A little bit of weirdness right here on the E. That's post-mint damage. And I'm back to the reverse. Now I'm looking for this die break error, which created the so-called Humpback Bison. So I'm adding that to my list of things to look for on these Kansas quarters. Obviously not on this quarter. So now I'm checking for the die clash in this area right here. I'm not seeing anything. Always refer back to your pictures. Have them bookmarked. Click back and forth. And now I'm looking for the "In God We Rust" error. And of course, this is not one of them. So as long as we're here on the obverse, let's take a tour around the coin, see if there's anything else. There could be die chips or cuds along the rim. We could have die chips in the letters of Liberty, filling them in, much like the Lincoln cents. But I'm not seeing anything here. Now, the "In God We Rust" error is actually on the Philadelphia coin. You see the mint mark over here. But I've already got them turned over, so why not check the D's? Who knows? Maybe I'll discover something. It hasn't happened yet. But as a coin roll hunter, you can always hope you're the first one to find an error. So that's why, even when there's no real reason to flip a coin over and check the obverse, still do it. I mean, you're going to lose, what, 10 seconds of your time? So here we go again, looking around, looking for that die clash on the flower. Refer back to the photo to remind yourself. Looking for any other weirdness around the rim. No Humpback Bison die break error here. I'm not seeing anything here. Now, I forgot to mention earlier, this is the 34th coin issued in the 50 state commemorative series. It was released August 29th in 2005. There were 563.4 million of them made. And again, the designer was Norman E. Nemeth. Sounds familiar because he just designed the Colorado quarter we were just looking through. Here we got some damage on the T of Trust, post-mint damage. You can also see the E up there has taken a pretty good hit. Another hit on the O there. So these coins circulated quite a bit. Lots of little hits and dings all over in Liberty. You can see right there I'm pointing out some post-mint damage here and there. One thing I've noticed a lot on these state quarter programs, the upper parts of the letters through here sustain a lot of machine doubling or ejection doubling or damage. A lot of times it's not doubling at all. It's just the smearing, so to speak, the smearing of the metal from the top to the bottom or to the side. You'll also see it here on these letters down through here, where the coin just gets stuck in the die for just a fraction of a second right after it's been struck. It's still a little malleable, and it sticks to the die a little bit. and when it gets ejected, it smears the metal just a little tiny bit. It's damage. It's not post-mint damage. It's actually mint damage. And by far, the most places I've seen that type of ejection damage is on the state, the name of the state on the top part of the design, and the E pluribus unum on the bottom part of the design. I guess it's just prone, those areas are prone to damage from sticking in the die. So another P, and still no In God We Rust quarter. I have yet to find one of those, and I bet I've looked through thousands of these coins for Kansas, and still have not come up with an In God We Rust. They are out there. There are lots of them out there. It's probably one of the more popular errors in the state quarter program. And for sure the most notorious, because the news loved that. Here we got some damage on the Q, some post-mint damage. There's also a rim nick there. That quarter took a pretty hard fall at some point in its life, or got whacked by a hammer, or who knows what. People do weird things with coins. If it's not damage that occurred naturally during the course of its circulation, then it's some bored guy with a hammer or a Dremel or a file, and they defile, so to speak, or a coinage, and which is really a shame. I mean, I understand being bored and everything, and having access to power tools, and you got a quarter in your pocket, might as well play around for 5 minutes while the boss is looking. But you know what? What if you took an In God We Rust quarter and you sanded on it at work because you were bored, and you just turned a $50 error coin into 25 cents? Oh, the things that keep me up at night. The things that keep a lot of collectors up at night. The horror of finding an error coin that's potentially worth hundreds of dollars, and now it's worth face value because someone took a hammer or a grinder to it. So shame on you guys out there who do those things. You're only hurting yourselves. You could have traded that quarter in for $50, $100, $200. Who knows? Depending on what era it is out there, and you just wrecked it. You made it a quarter again. My public service announcement of the day. Done. Still looking through these Kansas quarters. This one looked like it's was in a fire or something. Had a lot of black soot all the way around it. And again, the In God We Rust is the Philadelphia version of this quarter, but I checked the D's as well. Who knows? If I don't find In God We Rust, I might find something else, like a die chip on Liberty, or filled grease and quarter or dollar. Any number of those letters could be obliterated. What I think would be really cool, and is entirely possible because the mint mark is so small on these quarters, a small little glob of grease on the mint mark would erase the mint mark and effectively take the P or the D away and make it look like an older quarter with no mint mark on it, which was traditionally always Philadelphia. So I'd love to find a grease-filled die that obliterates the mint mark, because all these state quarters have P for Philadelphia, D for Denver. And if you're getting proof quarters, S for San Francisco. And San Francisco has also been striking some business strike coins intended for collectors, not really intended for circulation, in the last couple years. But I actually did find one of those in circulation. Somebody spent their San Francisco collector-only quarter, and I got it in change. So that was kind of cool. No die break error here. Just rummaging around the coin. No die clash. Let's click over that die clash picture one more time. Double check the area, and there's nothing there. So, looking around for more things. Nothing really going on here. Now, what I've also have been doing, aside from the microscope view, is using a good old-fashioned magnifying glass, because there are some double die errors out there. I'm not too sure about specifically in the Washington Quarter series, but very much so in the Lincoln Cent series, where there's doubling on the portrait. And especially the Lincoln series, His eyelids will be doubled. His nose will be doubled. Some of the lip design here will be doubled. So, although I can't off the top of my head confirm or deny that there are double die obverses in the Washington Quarter Series, I do still check all the rest of the design elements of the coins, not just under a microscope, but also a magnifying glass, because these old peepers here don't catch everything, especially unaided. So that's why the microscope is such a handy piece of equipment for old guys like me. But then again, the spectacles and good old magnifying glass a lot of the times will suffice. So anyway, I've gone through this part of the video, and I found a few things here and there. I'm going to set them aside. Well, I have already set them aside from the time when I shot this video. And I'm going to get them into their holders and get them correctly notated with what I found on them, so I don't spend them or put them back into circulation or put them in a regular Whitman book unattributed to the errors that I found. So this is going to wrap it up for a little while anyway. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any comments, questions, requests, especially requests, what do you guys want to see me search through? Put them in the comments below. I'm always open to suggestions on what else to cover on the show. I've kind of been just running through what I already have in my man cave here, and things I've already collected, because when I got this USB microscope, I really had no idea how much I would use it searching through the coins I already have, because when you get to these minute details, the double dies, the die chips, certainly die cracks and things of that nature that are really minute. My eyes couldn't see that kind of stuff, so I had no idea how much time I'd be spending just looking over the coins that I already had, as opposed to going out and coin roll hunting. So I haven't really been coin roll hunting a little while now. I have so many assets built up right now just to look through stuff that I already have, that's kind of been the focus of the show. You guys following along as I get caught up with stuff I should have done years and years and years ago, which is really investigate my coins in minute detail. So I've been focusing on that. If you guys want to see something different, if you have any ideas that I've so far ignored on what to look at in a coin or a series or through the microscope, or you want more historical information or something, let me know. Get a hold of me, shoot me an email, shoot me a comment, what have you, and I will do my best to help you guys out. So anyway, drop me a line, shoot me a comment, a message, what have you. Phone call, smoke signal, carrier pigeon, whatever you guys can figure out. Get a hold of me with your requests and long distance dedications, and I will do my best to produce a video for your suggestions. In fact, I did get quite a few comments on an earlier video with a suggestion, and it's on a little sticky note I have here on my desk, that one of the shows should be, what are my top 3 favorite coins? So that is on the to-do list, and I will probably do a couple different variations of my top 3. Certainly not my top 3 valuable coins, because I wouldn't even know where to begin on determining that. And most of the stuff I have is not valuable, it's just neat. So the value of the top 3 valuable coins won't make an appearance, because it's really not my focus of coin collecting. Maybe my top 3 favorite coins for historical purposes, because my wife is a history teacher and I frequently cross-pollinate my love of historical coins with her history lessons for school, and I will send in coins or bills or stamps or what have you designed for her to show the kids during the era in which they're learning. World War II, Civil War, World War II are the 2 big ones where I can actually send in some assets for her to pass out of the class, and that's always a hit. So A top three of my favorite historical coins. That's a very good possibility. A top three of my favorite designs, maybe. That's another good idea. Top three coins, maybe for sentimental value. That's how I'll put it. I have a lot of those. It would be very tough to nail down the top three. I can think of the number one coin right off the top of my head. So top three of my sentimental coins, regardless of historical value, numismatic value, what have you. Top three sentimental coins. That sounds like a show. And this is number 49. Come to think of it, this is coin show number 49. So the next one I do will be number 50. That sounds like a very appropriate topic for the 50th show. I like that. Stay tuned. Coin show number 50 is coming very soon. And I'm going to do my top three coins in the areas I just talked about. So, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for your previous comments. Thanks for your comments on all my shows. Keep them coming. I'm always open to hear from other collectors. Love hearing from other collectors, especially the coins you guys find in circulation. Any questions you have, I will certainly try to help answer them. And what else can I do? Love your hobby. Learn more. That's the main reason I keep producing these videos. I love my hobby. I'm trying to promote it. We need new coin collectors. We need more knowledgeable coin collectors too. So never stop learning about your hobby. My parting words of advice. Good night, guys.
Access Vision. Your voice, your community.